What up, my dude? As you say.
My dude, my dude, my dude.
My dude, my dude. What happened to your camera?
What's up?
There it goes. There you go.
Hold on, quick, man. I'm gonna grab some fucking headphones because I don't want the audio to be fucked up. Like, you know.
Show. Ah, shit. You already froze. Oh, look at that place. There's Yo Sword up there. Motivator.
Oh, yeah. Had a ball, though, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just chill and talk shit. You know, his name is, and he's just a fucking dirty old man. Well, he's a great dude. I love him to death. But he's an obnoxious fucking, don't give a fuck dude, and that's why I love him so much because he don't give a shit,
That's
It's
awesome,
really
man.
weird
That's
when
awesome.
when you have friends that are way older than you all the time,
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, honestly, too, I would say it's like even just being around, like me and my dad are really tight as far as like, he's gave me great advice and stuff growing up, but also we're really tight, like best friends too, you know what I'm saying? And he was always one of those kind of dads that would like pretty much, he was just like real down to earth and really real. So he would have like real conversations and shit like that. And honestly, man, I mean, I felt like, it helped like shape me to the person that I definitely am today, but with a different mindset, obviously, because I'm a different person. I think differently, but, just similar ways and stuff. But how you were saying it, hanging out with older people and stuff, even just hanging out with him when I was back home and stuff. And he had, friends his age. And when he was coming up, he hung out with older people, at least like sometimes 15, 20 years older, or even more, And a lot of guys he hang out with now at the bar and stuff are like older, but I don't know, man, just being around people like that, you learn a different aspect of things. I mean, not like that you don't around people your age and even younger people, but it's just a whole new like playing field with that, I feel.
No, you're right, man. You're absolutely fucking right. And I try to really maintain the perspective that you can learn anything from anyone, including those younger than you or haven't or not experienced as you, because anyone who truly tries to embody learning and humility can always fucking get knowledge from anywhere. You know what I mean? And if you think you're too smart or too experienced for anybody, then you don't really give a fuck about learning, But like you said, man, when you surround yourself with those who have like a barber, you always talk about going to your barber and you get a lot of that motherfucker talks to people on a serious level all day about their shit, you know what I mean? So just the perspective
100%.
that guy has had, has helped him have the perspective and the wisdom that he has, you know what I mean? Just from sitting in a chair cutting hair, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you hit that right on the nail with even my barber, man, because he might be a couple years older than me and stuff like that, but just from him being in the barbershop, and like my barbershop's in the hood too, you know what I'm saying? Like straight up in the fucking hood, man. And just going there, man, the conversations me and that dude share along with the people that's in the barbershop and shit, man, it's like it's one of the things I actually look forward to per week, man, because like just talking to this guy, when you feed off people that you can get into real ass conversations with, and he's not trying to change to be nobody because he's in the shop in the hood. He's still being like, that's his name. He's still being the same person. So he's not like when we do get up and we're out hanging out and shit like that, he's not going to be, just a conversation on that level at that time versus when he's in the shop, he's like the same. But, a lot of people, I feel like they may try to act a certain kind of way around certain kind of groups of people and stuff. I mean, we see it often all the time and shit. And, one thing that I've pretty much learned throughout my life and through experiences and just meeting people, especially in the Marine Corps and then outside of the Marine Corps is one thing is, no matter how a person like even appears to be on the outside, how they dress, things that's physical appearance that a lot of people often judge them on, obviously race and shit like that, man. One thing that I've really learned, like I said on the last video we did, is, the cultures and the different people that we were around. And then now outside the Marine Corps, me being in that in college and stuff, people that's younger than me, way younger, you know what I'm saying? Some people that's older than me and shit. But I don't know, man. I'm like, it's always in me just to get to know a person, like not automatically be like that person's like that, you know what I'm saying? Or if I'm with a certain group of fucking people, totally ignore that person because it's not considered the cool group or whatever the fuck people call it and shit. It's like these motherfuckers, like some of these people are like the dopest people that you'll ever meet and stuff like that, you know? It's just, I don't know, you got to give people a chance, really. That's what it showed me. When you brought up the barbershop, man, that's what first thing that popped in my mind, so.
Well, no, man, and you're at like that's why. I mean, that's why we're friends. That's why when you talk about, I always talk about, or always point out, excuse me, when you see the group of us, the four of us, culture and society, by but what's politically correct, we shouldn't be friends. We should not be as tight as we are. You know what I mean? Just because of the fucking way we look. You know what I mean? And if people were to see us going out just by the way we dress and the color of both of our skin and the way we do our hair, people fucking think that we're complete and total opposites. We are. But because you're fucking opposites, they think that we can't fucking have this deep fucking connection. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel is so backwards thinking. You know what I mean? Like, and that's one of the old sayings, like opposites attract, you know what I mean? And people think that you can only be surrounded by those who think like you or look like you or talk like, and I completely disagree with the entire, I don't know, I'm not going to say logic of that because people surround themselves with like-minded individuals and everything like that all the time. But the actual judgment that people fucking lay at you and try to say like you have to think this way or you have to be this way. You're from here. You do this. You look like this. You have to fucking have this opinion. It's like, motherfucker, no, I don't. I can surround myself and think and do whatever the fuck it is I want to do, man. And that's one of the reasons why, like I feel I could go into a fucking barbershop in the ghetto and be fucking fine because people realize right the fucking way that there's no faking me. You know what I mean? And that's the fucking thing that people respect is that realness. It's be real when keeping it real goes wrong and all that shit. You know what I mean?
Guaranteed, man. Guaranteed. And it's funny that you say, like, when people say, be real, some of the people that says it, like, they don't even live by that. It's just a saying. Like, I had to really sit there and look at, like, okay, people say be real, but what is really how you feel? And I feel like that's, like you said, you go to a barbershop in the hood, they really feel the vibe you got, and they don't sense, like, the BS in you and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But you also got the people that's like supposedly saying, keep it real and do all these things, but they're not really expressing who they truly are. They might even be trying to put on a facade for something or to image for something, but then they go home and really really when they lay down and, at the end of every day, you lay down and you collect your thoughts a lot of the times. And in their mind, they're really thinking like, damn, this is, they don't even think it. They know this is who I really am, but then they live life pretty much enslaved in the fucking thought of like, oh man, I got to be this kind of way because this is the group that I appeal to and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being the complete genuine you. And then there's going to be people that's going to be like, okay, that dude's like whatever and shit like that. But in your mind, it's nothing but genuine. So I feel like that's real. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking realer than real. It's like, and people that can kind of feel that energy and shit, you know what I'm saying? They're like, damn, it ain't nothing you even got to say really. It's like body language. It's like, a good example, I was grocery shopping this past weekend and shit. And, no big deal, like picking up a couple items and shit. But what really, I guess, got me as I was in line and shit. And the lady at the fucking, and this is something really small too. The lady at the register and stuff, that was ringing me up. It was just like a certain vibe that she put off. Like pretty much she was having a fucking shitty day. Like dealing with irate customers, and then her system went down. Completely not her fault. Like you know what I'm saying. But in my mind as a human being, people were giving her shit, and definitely a lady behind me. And in my mind, the first thing in my mind as a human being, I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, I need to get back too, man. Like. I'm trying to get back fucking home like in a timely manner. I already waited in line all this time. And then those thoughts started, fluttering my mind. But then I was really thinking, I was like, you know what? It's completely not even that person's fault for it. And then you had all the energy in the back of me and shit just throwing out negative things about damn, like this and this, and trying to tell her this and that. And then it really, what really I feel like changed her day. While I was like, I completely, like, I was like, really, it ain't your fault and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that happens pretty much. And I feel like just those small words, man, like, it pretty much completely, I ain't gonna say changed her shitty day, but definitely put her in a better direction. And then when I said that, the people behind me were completely like, just looking. They didn't really say anything else. You know what I'm saying? Because they know in their mind, like, fuck, man. She's probably already been having a shitty day. When she came in this morning, who knows what happened the night before? Like, I guess we don't really take time to look into all this shit. But, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, we're going to get mad and stuff. I'm not saying be perfect, but in the same sense, give a benefit of the doubt sometime, man. Place yourself in those shoes some fucking time. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. Yeah. And the people, I feel like that, pretty much does that, even though they're going to have like struggles and drama in their life and don't want to go to work and work fucking sucks. And I go home and fucking, if they have a fucked up relationship, they're arguing and shit like that. But I don't know, man. At the end of the day, I guess we got to sit back and really think. It goes back to what me and you talk about all the time, man. The stuff that we do have and being aware of the things that that's right in front of us and stuff. That's usually we look right over it because we take them for granted and stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? It really all plays a part together, and that's what it showed me. Is like, damn, look at this person. They're having even a worse day than me, and I think I was crying about something, it was my car. It wasn't like a big issue, but it was a small bump in the road. It was a setback. And I'm thinking like, shit, man, like I got a fucking roof over my head, food, money to buy these damn groceries right now and shit. And, I had to sit back and really collect, and think about that.
Well, no, and you're right to do so, man. And I do the exact same thing. And that's why, like, in my garage and my house and everywhere, I really try to surround myself with visual reminders of not only all the things I have to be grateful for, but all the people that I fucking know. And that's why, a lot of the I purposely think of really fucked up shit that I've done throughout my life, because I really want to have that everyday reminder that, all of the little shit, when you're like you're talking about, when you're in fucking line at the grocery store, and you could be a better person to those around you, but because your life is currently being affected in a negative way, you're being inconvenienced, you're going to be shitty to other people for no fucking reason, just because things are not exactly the way you want them to be. You know what I mean? And then in that same fucking thought, you'll bitch about people giving you shit when you're out and about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right when you talk about, or when you said that people forget that, and they automatically just don't know what anyone else has been doing in their life. You don't know what their day has been like. You know what I mean? And instead of being the person that you would like to see, because everyone goes out and wants to meet someone who's nice and wants to run to somebody who's very cheerful and not an asshole. But then when you have the opportunity to be that person for somebody else, you're just a fucking selfish asshole, because, you don't want to have to go out of your way to be right. Or just nice or polite to somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no, man, but that's the thing is when you really truly do that with every little fucking person in your life, every fucking time you go out the door, every time you go to the fucking grocery store, you intentionally go out and say, I'm going to be good and as polite to people as I possibly can, regardless of how I get treated by others.
Yeah.
If you can do that, or with all of those little life situations, when life decides it wants to kick you in the fucking balls and then kick you in the teeth when you're fucking bent over and then kick you in your fucking stomach again while you're down, baby? When that shit happens to you, when you've done all those fucking nice things and kind things and good things for people every day of your fucking life, those times when you're getting your shit kicked out of you by fucking life, that's when all that shit's going to come back to you. You know what I mean? And those hard times are going to be way, way easier because you do all that good shit every fucking day. You know what I mean?
Preach.
And, man.
Seriously,
it's just, it is, though. It's true, though. It's absolutely fucking true. For me anyway. It's absolutely true for me.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. And what I took out of part of what you say, too, is like, I don't know, when you go through those times that you feel like are the rough times in your life and stuff like that, I don't know, man. It's just pretty much holding on, still being that good person, having that faith to just pretty much keep pushing. And then through some of those times, you realize like, now I made it to the light. I made it to some of those good times. You just couldn't see it at first. You was in that fucking depression. You was in a, just a shitty spot at the time of life. So it's kind of it's really hard to see through it and see that there's going to be, so-called light at the end of the tunnel and stuff, man. Like, because definitely when shit hits you back to back, you really start to see that. I mean, do you personally think that's the reason that certain Marines or military people, when they get out, do you think that's a reason that they have issues, I guess, transitioning and stuff, because they're used to a certain kind of way, and pretty much when they do get out and stuff, they can't just really have a positive mind. They're thinking like so much shit's going on. What am I going to do next and stuff? Do you think, is that part of a difficult reason that you think most Marines, I guess, or military people have transitioning?
Yeah, man.
Because they go through those dark times, and like, PTSD and all the dark times, and definitely they experience like some really hard shit like war or whatever like that. And even if they didn't, you know what I'm saying, they're getting used to a whole new fucking way of living, a new occupation to find, stuff to keep them busy, because realizing myself that the idling mind is the devil's playground, you know what I'm saying? Now you're trying to juggle and do different things, keep that under control, still be there for your family, and still stand for something, if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's easy it's definitely really easy to, I guess, drop the pack in a sense when you're going through all these dark times and you really haven't seen any light for a fucking long time. Now you're out of the fucking service, whether it's UEAS, you got out, you got kicked out. We know people from all different sectors of the shit, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? People that got fucking kicked out, people that made it through and thought that, that grass may be green on the other side, and it may or may not. Like, you know what I'm saying? And now they got to transition through all that. So what do you feel like is the biggest, I guess, obstacle while it's hard transitioning for some?
I don't know. Well, for me, man, the trauma shit, of course, going through war is traumatic, and experiencing loss and suffering and pain and all that kind of shit, you know what I mean? But for me personally, it wasn't anything that happened that was traumatic, you know what I mean? Like, my whole life, I have, unintentionally lived in a fucking just trench of adversity, you know what I mean? It's all fucking self-made, you know what I mean? I have constantly just tried to fucking make everything in life as hard as I possibly can. Right. Unintentionally, and in combat and in deployment and all that shit, I mean, yeah, it was traumatic, but the just like now, how we've all reconnected, that family and that bond and relationship that we got on deployment. I mean, yeah, we got that in the rear and everything like that. And yeah, you get that, through the friendships just in general. But being on deployment with the fucking, group of guys, especially like the units we deployed with, man, especially in Delta Company, like, we were pretty fucking tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially our Afghanistan platoon, man.
Right.
I mean, we were fucking super tight.
Yeah.
And we mostly did shit by ourselves, man. We mostly fucking operated on our own. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the loss of that level of connection, that loss of human connection on that level, which you can't get anywhere else in culture or society. You know what I mean? That depth and power and strength of the bond that you get with dudes in combat. And it's not a friendship. Like, there's like, me and that fucking dude would never be friends ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would probably go out of my way for that guy a lot. Way fucking farther than most friends say they would for their friends. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's, like I said, man, it's just it's that bond and the connection. And that loss, when I got out and that was gone, that was something that the alienation and the loneliness. Like, Sebastian Junger's a guy I read. He's pretty. He uses the word isolation, but the loneliness and, like, the loss of meaning. You know what I mean? Like for me personally, man, it was everything to me. You know, I thought it was gonna be some 30-year crusty master guns. You know,
Right.
and when you really have to fucking just, wow, I don't have my fucking boys anymore. I don't have my Marines. I'm completely by my motherfucking self.
Self,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? And though I had Sarah, and I mean Abigail was born that, but it's not the same thing. You know, I mean, though you have these new relationships in your life and you have all these great things about you, that doesn't negate the fact that now you have this huge hole in you. You know, this huge hole in your life that you know you don't know how to fill, and your family, your friends and everything like that can't fill that. It's different. You know what I mean? They can't give you what you just lost. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that was what it happened. That was for me, man. It wasn't so much the trauma. I mean, the combat is combat, and you hate it and love it all at the same time, and that's how it was for me. I was scared, the worst I've ever been scared in my life, but I was the most fucking excited, and it was the most intense and awesome and fit and shit. It was all those things. And I would go back now. I would go fucking fight a war right now if you know, offered to, if able to. But that's not what I miss, and that's not what's fucked me up, man. It's that loss of brotherhood. And I hate the word brother. I don't hate the word brotherhood. I just hate using it
I
because
know
it's
what you
used so
mean.
fucking much.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But it's exactly what it is, man. That's what kicked my ass, was just, you know, that isolation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, very true, man. I feel like that's one thing that it's one of the conversations actually me and had and shit. And we were kind of saying that it is. I mean, like you said, use the word brotherhood, but that's the exact same word to use, because it's like, you know, you are bros and you're brothers and shit. You're really fighting for the person to your left and your right. And for me personally, I know it sounds like kind of fuck. I mean, I was doing that more than just for my country, bro. Like I was fighting for these.
But
I was
yeah.
fighting for, you know what I mean? I'm fighting for, like, you know, somebody would look at it and be like, oh, damn, I did it all for my country. In my mind, I was like, getting back to what I'm trying to say, people that you had conversations with that you totally disagree with and agree with, they're still were in the same shithole or good place or wherever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? And I guess people don't realize it's through conversations when you have disagreements and stuff like that. That's what bring new ideas. You got to be able to challenge yourself, still have a great fucking conversation with a person. And then when you're put in a situation, that's why we were saying brotherhood. We were saying, like, you know, it was people in there that you might not have liked personally, and that you couldn't see yourself hanging out with, that you didn't hang out with when you were back in the rear before you deployed. And then you get on that deployment, and then you know, even if you wasn't tight with them the whole time and stuff like that, man, it's something about it. It's something that's hard to explain. Like it's one of those things, like the connection when you see it, and when people say vibes, and when they see like they say a person have good vibes about them. It's actually it's an aura around them. It's like that connection comes too, and then that brotherhood, that bond, like comes and stuff. And when you come back. Even us reconnecting after several years after, we got out of the Marine Corps, it's just like it never like ended pretty much. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that. And with a couple other my brothers that are watching this now, or to all the viewers out there and shit, just what me and DJ are saying is like, it's so true, man, because everybody that I've had a conversation with, Dre, fucking, I mean, the list goes on or whatever, but it's just that connection. You can go several months or even years and don't really keep in contact with that person, and then automatically that connection comes. And especially with people like, I don't know, man, like certain people, it's automatically you had some things that, whether you took some good leadership from them or a swag, I guess they would call it, or a certain way about them and shit, you know what I'm saying? A certain way they moved and did fucking things, and I don't know, man. And then certain, the relationship you had with certain brothers and stuff too, man. It's once I got out, I was always in contact with some, and through trials and tribulations and through experiencing things that's in their life now and stuff like that. Some of the conversations that we had, it helped mold me pretty much now. Keeping in contact with a lot of these guys, and it just pretty much like. Boom, now like I can see, like, for instance, Fred, he's got the fucking X Loud. Like we were saying last time, man, like Gibson's doing his thing now as a recruiter, but still all of these things, whether I would do them or not, or whether I had a whole different idea, us talking on here and stuff, like it really motivates me to be like in the right direction. And then you know in your mind, like, shit, man, this is definitely the path that we should be on. Because all we're doing right now is fucking like pretty much we're connecting, having a conversation to the viewers out there to see us and shit now. I mean, I know what y'all think in y'all's mind. Damn, I seen these people like, you know, this is all part of it and stuff, you know. The connection's automatically there. We didn't have to like set it or make it or anything like that, you know. It's just natural, and I think it's for, or not think, I mean, I know it's for a great cause, for, you know, the better cause of anything.
And it's it's been so weird for me, man, because, you know, part of when I got the fuck out, you answer that question, you know, what the fuck do I do now? You know, what the hell is my purpose in life? Who, you know, and especially for me, like you can, you know, my entire life has been surrounded in the Marine Corps. My entire life, you know what I mean? And when you go through enough self-adversity, self-reflection, and then, you know, you self-analyze, and when you do that after a life of constant, no ma'am, when you do that after a life of constant, intentional, and unintentional adversity, a lot of fucking struggle, you know, like, as much as I would like to say that my life has been, you know, easy and carefree, man, when compared to most, it hasn't been. Like, I've had a pretty eventful and adversary, well, not adversary, that wouldn't work anyway, but a fucking pretty rough life. And that has given me the experience and now the perspective to really fucking, to see that what you and I are doing in the path that we're on, the direction we're fucking headed, is what I'm supposed to be fucking doing in life. And I know you feel the exact same fucking way. Like, that's exactly
right.
The direction and the path that you're supposed to be on. You know what I mean? And nothing else in life has ever been giving me this feeling. You know, no other point in time in my life have I ever felt this way. And have I ever been like, holy fuck, when every conversation I have with the guy, or every time I sit there and I feel whatever the fuck it is you believe in, God, the universe, positive energy, whatever the fuck it is you believe in, whatever that feeling that you get when you just know I'm doing the right fucking thing and this feels right, and this, I've been living that constant feeling for like the past 8 months of my life, you know, and I know you know that because you've been around for much of it, you know what I mean? And I mean, you were there very much in fucking from the beginning, from when I started, like, whatever the fuck it was I started doing, and then when we fucking reconnected, it's just, it's weird, man, because unless you fucking have experienced it, and unless you're seeing it, people fucking just hearing about it are like, okay, whatever, you're just fucking crazy. And I always compare, like, this must have been what these motherfuckers felt like when they were getting this shit started, or what this guy felt like, or this gal felt like, or whatever, when they were fucking on the road to whatever great thing they did, you know, and you know, when you say, oh, you think you're gonna fucking do something great, you're fucking right, I am, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm intentionally setting out to meaningfully impact my life, the life of my family, and the life of those around me. And the reason for that being, when I became a fucking dad, like, holy shit, my little human beings that I just created are going to fucking grow up in this world. And I'm going to do everything I fucking can to make this world that they grow up in as best as I can make it. And you know what makes my world fucking the best it possibly can? By putting all the best motherfuckers into it. Huh, buddy? So, you know, and when you know, start reconnecting with everybody, and you're putting all of these people in your life who you love and care about and who love you back, you're just like, fuck. And it's contagious, you know?
It is. Amen, brother. Amen.
Dude, I get on my box, man. I start preaching.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Hey, I mean, what you're saying is real and shit. So how are you able to fucking balance that, though, when now you're saying, I guess, not that you're on a new path, but do you think about the people that the naysayers, the people that you may have hung with one time, thinking that, okay, this guy's on this path now, and now you got a balance between, I guess it's easy to be like, damn, now, you know, if I put this out here and express how I really am, are they going to agree with it? Or do you even think about that shit, about other people looking at you a certain kind of way now that you're, I guess, completely different than the stuff that you did do in the past and stuff?
Oh, totally, man. Like, So, I mean, you remember how I used to be, bro. I mean, I was a crazy person, you know? And, like, when I was in the fucking club, you know, I still am in the motorcycle club I'm in, but when I was still active, I'm a retired member now, man, that was my reputation as being a fucking wild man, you know what I mean? And on
Yeah,
top of that, you know, I mean, it is absolutely fucking weird to be one extreme of the spectrum to another. And then when you go back into relationships with people that you had when you were with the former extreme, it's really fucking weird. And it's not even weird, man. It sucks because you really find out who really fucking cares about you and who doesn't. And the
right.
people who fucking truly care about you really want to do nothing but they want what's best for you. The people who really,
Yeah,
yeah, thank you. The people who give a fuck about you, all they want is your best interest. They have your best interest at heart. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
the motherfuckers who don't are the guys who give you shit and who aren't trying to be happy that you're fucking being better.
right.
You know what I mean? Like when you're really really intentionally trying to better your fucking life for whatever reason, and if that includes people that don't really care about you, they're going to give you fucking shit about it. And that's happened
For
to me
sure,
several
for sure.
times. You know what I mean? And it sucks. It really sucks because it comes from people you care about, regardless of what your relationship was built on. You know, you care about somebody, and regardless if your values aren't the same anymore, you know, that love and that connection doesn't fade away. And then when that person doesn't support you during those times when you would like them to, man, it fucking really sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's sad, man. It's really super sad. You going to bed? Yeah. But
I
I mean,
guess
how did you feel
I,
with all that though, man? Like, I mean, when you got out, shit, you went back home. Didn't you go back to your hometown? I mean, you're from Virginia. You know what I
no,
mean?
no, man. No, I ended up I stayed around the area. I stayed in Wilmington just because I didn't want to
That's right. That's right.
yeah, yeah,
Fuck.
yeah.
Okay.
I ended up staying around because I pretty much like
Out of
Virginia,
there.
like the part of the area that I'm from, Martinsville, Virginia is just it's a very small town. Home will always be home, but I just saw more opportunity and more things I want to do around this area.
And you
And
fit in Wilmington.
yeah, yeah, man. And then like in 2+ man, it was like with Lee and everything, her being from here, her parents here, they live in Florida now or whatever. But uh, with me, man, when I got out and stuff, and I pretty much had, I want to say about 4 months before I dived straight into, to community college over here at Cape Fear. And I went into college then, even though, I didn't know anything. That was like, basically, I was like, I'm going to be getting money going to school and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be getting money from the fucking government going to school, and I'll figure out what I want to do while I'm in school. And really just the experience for me wasn't too hard on the aspect of, I guess, diving in, attacking something, and far as, I guess, financially keeping the money flowing. Obviously, I had the budget a lot more tighter than when I was in the Marine Corps personally myself, because I was depending on that money and plus what Lee made. But the thing for me is, obviously, you get out, you definitely, in school, for me, you meet people that are completely, like, different. Like I said, man, like, you meet people that's fucking way younger, like, more, I guess, immature than the mindset that that I have now and shit. Definitely getting out and just being used to a structure that was way fucking different, a whole different world. And it's funny though, but it completely worked for me, man, because like with my personality, along with the things that I did in the Marine Corps, bro, it really just made me like a fucking funny, like halfway jackass, not even knowing I was a jack. Like, I'd be in conversations with kids, like cussing every other word and stuff, but it was just really who I was. And it genuinely made great connections, and my experience was really good. And then, I don't know, man, I got to the point, kind of like you said, you like reading and shit a lot, man. And I know when you get into a book, you really get into it. When you really get into a movie, you really get into it. When you get into what you're saying, you feel it and you fucking get into it. So, weird as it might sound, man, I don't know, man. I just really love learning again when I was in school, because that whole time when I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years, like, yeah, you're learning something fucking different and shit, though. You're learning like tactics, and you're learning like leadership and all these things, but this is more academic and more getting back in the books and more like fucking a whole different part that tagged along with the part for me from the Marine Corps and just made this motherfucking monster, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, no, dude,
man, it was a good thing. And after that, man, it's funny because then I ran into people that were going through shit and always kept in contact with some of the Marine brothers that you know, like I said, from Delta Company is watching this shit, and you know, I mean, some of them were going through some complete bull, like, you know, was going through like bottom, you know, they pretty much got in trouble a lot and fucking lost a lot, and I had conversations with them, and I always tried to encourage them and still keep my head above water and shit too, man. And you know, me trying to avoid things, even though I was still at the time going out drinking and doing the things I were doing in the Marine Corps because I was used to that shit. And I had to eventually tell myself, you know, I didn't really have to stop to think about it. It was just like, you know, this is more important to me now. I found something I like to do. I like to learn. I like to fucking get to it. And I still would have fun and celebrate it and have a good time still. But at the same sense, like, my mind had to snap to that. My mind had to go out there and be like, shit, this is what I feel. This is what I was meant for. The Marine Corps is a part of the chapter of my life. But when I decided in my life, hey, I'm not for, I literally decided in my life, unlike, you know, you've seen yourself 30 year, like you said, master guns and shit. Me, I was like, I started to feel like I was going through the motions and doing it more so for a job and for job security. And that's when I told myself personally, I was like, it's time for me to do something else, because I feel like to be a great Marine and a great leader, you really have to be passionate about it. Like, you don't have to, you can pick up rank, but I'm saying to be great. I'm saying to be the kind of people that, you know, your junior Marines look up to, and the kind of people that set an example. You really have to feel that shit in your heart. I wasn't feeling it no more. Yeah, I was exactly going back to that. I wasn't feeling it no more, man. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it like what I'm feeling now, and I'm spit this shit. I was starting to feel like I'm going through the motions. I'm skating a lot. I'm gonna end up getting felt like, but I had to be like, ooh, you know what I'm saying, doing all that crazy shit, bro. Like everything in the book and stuff, man. But still, like I said, man, and still with the platoon I was with then, you know, it was great connections and everything. But I was like, man, it's time for, you know, Noel fucking to go ahead and bounce out and do something different before I don't know what else would have happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like alcohol incidents. You can relate, man. Like all kinds of shit that I'm lucky I didn't fucking get kicked out of the Marine Corps for. And but I don't know. At the time, had some good leaders, I guess, looked out for me and did the whole SARPS thing. But anyways, like after that, I got out and pretty much locked on to school. And from then, man, everything's been on that path. Then I ran into you, man. And I mean, shit, here we are. We're fucking doing this thing, man.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, it is. It's super weird, man.
It's just the way that, you know, for us, the ways life worked out. And what's crazy is, you know, every time I tell people, you know, oh, you're doing a podcast, why are you doing? And, you know, I always say, like, I'm not doing a podcast because I want to do a podcast. You know, like the path and direction that I'm on in life is adding as many people into my life that I love and that love me and that fucking want to do the same things that I'm doing, you know, add as many people like that in my life as possible. And whatever fucking comes out of that is my purpose, you know what I mean? Like just trying to improve my life by bringing more people into it that I love and love me back, and then helping others do the exact same thing. And whatever accomplishes that, whether it's connecting with guys on a podcast, building a company and a business afterwards, because that's another thing that I really want to tell the people constantly on the podcast is that we are not doing this for just a podcast sake. Like, we're really trying to establish a baseline and establish a following, you know, in order to gain enough following and influence to be able to accomplish some of the entrepreneurial goals that we have. You know what I mean? Right. In order to facilitate the life that we want to live, you know? Yeah. And that's and Gary Vaynerchuk, again, you know, he's the guy who really gave me that idea with social network, with using social media and all that kind of shit, and really using it in that way with that tactic. And, you know, if you are able to put out content, us doing a podcast, if you're able to do that constantly and do it for free and do it fucking genuinely and sincerely with as much integrity and realness, you know what I mean? That's why I think us doing it is so fucking cool, because we're not cool, but I think it's actually fucking meaningful because we're all real as fuck, you know what I mean? Yeah. And we're all, and all it is true.
That crack, that fucking crack.
Oh, you're so stupid, dude. You know, and that's it. All it is because we tell the truth, and we're stupid. We're not afraid to be ourselves. You know what I mean? And, yeah, man. And like, so I say shit like that, like that we're not afraid to be ourselves. And then I think of like what all my fucking Marine buddies would say, or all my biker buddies would fucking say. You know what I mean? And they're all, oh, you fucking little pussy. You know, you fucking little girl. But I don't give a fuck about not only what people think, but it doesn't make what I said not true. You know, I mean,
Man,
that's real. That's real shit. You know what I mean? Just because
real,
you want
real.
to give me crap because you think I'm being a bitch or a put, excuse me, being a nutsack. That's I'm gonna start saying that more often. But if you
Yeah,
think I'm just being a girl because I'm saying real shit, that's because you're too fucking scared to sell real stuff, not because I'm,
exactly,
crapping or anything.
exactly.
You give me a sec, I'm gonna walk my daughter upstairs. She's going to bed. Give me
Yeah,
just
you
one
good,
second.
brother. You good.
You have to go get a refill.
Shooby doo da ba ba. Shooby doo da ba ba ba. Hey, cheers to all the viewers out there too. Beans, bullets, and bullshit. Hope everybody's definitely doing fucking amazing. Late at night here. Well, 11:43 right now. Smith's on the west side, the west coast and everything. But yeah, cheers to you guys. Hope everybody's doing good and pretty much having a eventful, great evening and stuff, whether you're spending time with your families or spending time with friends and shit. And getting back to kind of what we were saying, this is the thing that really motivates me in life and stuff, is being able to talk to, people that's obviously trying to do, I guess, and even people that's really now in that same, I guess, way of thinking to try to do positive things and to try to give back and inspire others and stuff like that. The biggest thing for me is being able to have connections with a lot of you guys, and whether it's through here, people that I don't even know or we don't even know and stuff. And I feel like that's the main purpose. And us right now having this conversation and connecting and shit like that, it just really brings a great deal of joy, definitely, passion and stuff, hunger to keep going. And, no matter what, through the trials and tribulations that anybody might be going through and shit, man, just like we were saying earlier, is, try to, I guess, hold on through those times, see life for what it gives you, be appreciative of the things right in front of you and shit like that. And, keep on keeping on and stuff, man. The old Marine Corps saying was like, find that straw, suck that shit the fuck up, keep chucking and stuff. And, even though it's a lot easier said than done, it's definitely good to have people that you can talk to about and stuff, and that's one thing that like you personally, DJ, why do you think it's a big deal that I guess people are looked down upon for going to seek help and shit like that, man?
It's a
Or
stigma, man.
yeah,
Because it's the way it's always been done. And it's just the way that not only men, but stoic, fucking strong, warrior type, fucking you don't talk about that shit, and you don't fucking tell people about it. You don't talk about your feelings, you don't talk about anything like that. That's the stigma, you know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, like it's not only changing, but it's something that has not always been like that. You know what I mean? Like as you said earlier, man, I'm a big fucking book nerd and I'm a history buff too. But warriors back in the day, they didn't fucking hide their emotion. Like weeping is as obviously they called it, but weeping and crying was part of communicating. You know what I mean?
right,
Like in the book I just finished, The Virtues of War, about Alexander the Great and his army, like ancient Greece, the ancient world, Roman, that weeping was really, really like a way of really showing how your grief or your happiness or something like that. You know what I mean?
right,
And in today's world, man, everyone's supposed to be like, don't fucking talk about it. You don't talk about it. You fucking suck it up. You fucking don't. Don't show weakness. Don't be fucking bitch. Don't be a bitch and don't be weak. Um, but that's changing, man, because some of the fucking most baddest dudes, who are gangster as fuck, talk about their experiences all the time now, and are really fucking trying to change the stigma of your stress and your adversity. And specifically when it comes to PTSD and all of your inner demons. You know what I mean? Like, being able to fucking share your fucked up baggage, all the shit that you've done, and the things that you've seen and said and done to other people, it really helps people out, man, because it's that guilt, that emotional baggage, that mental and emotional fucking pack that you carry around. And when you show people that not only you can take that off and give it to fucking people, but that it feels better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, when I tell people, so for me, one of the things that I really like to fucking get deep on really quick with folks is, you know, one of the reasons why I try so hard every day to be as good of a dad and as good of a spouse as I possibly can, and or just a good person in general, you know, as good of a man as I possibly can be, is one of the memories that I keep burned in my fucking mind and that I think about every day is that there was two relationships that I was in that I was abusive, emotionally, physically, mentally abusive in every fucking aspect of the word. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I really would put my hands on two women specific in these two relationships that I was in, and you know, it was one of which, you know, at the worst time of my drinking, it was after Afghanistan, after we lost Sean, and you know, I think this was after I fucking came back from Paris Island, after I got bounced out of Paris Island, and you know, my drinking was at its fucking. I was, you know, in the club. You know, it was my early years in the club, so I was just doing nothing but riding my motorcycle and fucking getting fucked up, you know, and just doing crazy shit. And you know, there was one night I'd been with this girl almost 2 years, and you know, me and her were going at it, and that was the relationship, man. We'd get fucked up, and we'd fight, and we'd brawl, and we'd yell, you know, all that shit, you know, which a lot of people I don't fucking do, especially military couples. And you know, I was hitting the sauce real hard, and Jameson was my fucking poison of choice. That was my blood type, man. And you know, I had her one time. I was smacking her around, and we were in the closet, and I was fucking. She was balled up in the corner in the fetal position. I was fucking kicking her, and I went and I got my pistol and I fucking stuck it in her face, you know, and I was threatening to kill her and shit. And I remember thinking about that later on, after I decided to get sober, and I was like, holy fuck, man, like, you know, when you see that in film, when you see that in TV or in movies or whatever the fuck, you know, it's always the bad guy doing that. You know what I mean? You never see the fucking good guy ever doing that. If it is the good guy, he becomes the good guy later because he's not doing that when he's, you know. And I was like, holy fuck, I'm the bad guy. You know, I'm really the bad guy. You know.
Yeah.
And I that was something that I reflected on, man, and I keep that in my mind every fucking day. I keep it burned in my mind because I remind myself through everything, you know, is my next action going to make me more like that guy or less like that guy? You know what I mean? And
Right.
and 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 it's not even that anymore. Now it's what decision I make is going to be more of a good man. You know what I mean? I don't even think about doing fucking, you know, because I don't do crazy shit no more. But you know,
Is it
it's
easy? Is it easy to just cut that switch off though when you see red? I mean, like if something makes you really angry, what do you do now to, I guess, be able to handle it, man? Do you just what is it like? Is the whole walk away thing, or is it just you gotta, like you said, remind yourself of that, and it kind of? I mean, I know it's still hard to control sometimes, like that inner darkness and that inner
yeah.
anger is definitely it's still it's like it's still there because like I know in myself, even though you know, I'm striving to do right and stuff like that. Is some of those points that just really get inside of you that fucking you just want to like explode or either, you know, I don't know, hit a wall, do something, man. Like you just get really angry
Yeah.
inside. You know what I'm saying? And then
Well,
some of those past ways you were like kind of be like boom. So is it easier now? You think
oh
to
yeah.
how do you switch that off? Like, or what made you decide to do that? Is it being sober? Or is it just a change of
That helps. That helped a lot, man. That getting sober was the first step, you know. And like I can drink now. I mean, I drank when we were out in Colorado. You know what I mean? I would have a
right,
beer
right,
every now. I can drink. I do not let alcohol. I don't let anything ruin my or run my life. You know what I mean? But at the time, yeah, I had to quit drinking because that was it, man. That was because like I've told you before, I'm a super emotional guy. You know that. You know,
right.
that's why I'm so passionate about a lot of things. You know, and I feel super deeply. I think I feel a lot more deeply than most people, and that gives me that really fucking capacity for empathy, you know, and that's why I was an addict as a teenager. That's why I was a fucking alcoholic all my fucking adult life, is because all that deep passion and emotion, man, like and it had being empathetic and taking on others' fucking pain and emotion. You know what I mean? It just I wasn't able to fucking deal with that. for my entire adult life. And that's why I always drowned it out when I was a teenager and an adult with drugs and alcohol, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to lie, I was still doing drugs in the Marine Corps, you know what I mean? I was still, I mean, I did them way more than I should have. But I mean, the point being is that I always dealt with all my emotions through numbing them by intoxication on some level. You know what I mean? Be booze, drugs, or women. That's what I needed to fucking ignore all the bullshit and hearing up here. You know, because I had no idea how to make the two communicate, and I
Yeah,
had no
yeah.
idea how to make this one strong for this one or make nothing. You know what I mean? My head and my emotions were not in line, and it was just a really fucking dark period for me. But anyway,
Did
now
the Marine Corps like did that? You said you mentioned that even when you're a teenager, you're consuming obviously like mass amounts of alcohol, drugs, and shit. So did the Marine Corps? What did it do to just enhance it even more? Because you was already that. You know what I mean? Like you was already that person. Like some people come into the Marine Corps as uh just totally different, man. Like in high school, they could have been nerds, cool, whatever the fuck they are. And then they go in the Marine Corps and pretty much it's their new form of life. And they, I guess, turn into pretty much that person. You know what I'm saying? But you said prior to you were dealing with some of these things. So when you got in the Marine Corps and the gun club and everything, and you were fucking around savages pretty much, and the conversations, I'm guessing that it built on to that, like already the way you were. So it's not like you came in completely and then just a different person, I guess came about.
no, dog. I was living on my I was living on my own when I was 17, but I was living on my own. I was living with a 20 something, like a buddy of mine. My buddy was my age, but we lived with his older brother and sister who was 23 and 24, and then like 25 and 26 they were older. So I'm always partying with fucking college motherfuckers and military dudes and young guys like that when I'm in high school, living by myself outside of my house, you know what I mean? And even when
Always
I
older
did
people,
live at
like you was
home,
mentioning, yeah.
and even when I did live at home, man, I was always fucking just causing a stir, man. I was always I was literally just the stupid black sheep of the family, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was the youngest, and yeah, man, always got always got into motherfucking trouble, man. That's always been, I've always fucking never, ever, ever been okay with authority on any level. And it's so weird. It's not the fact that it's authority, it's the fact that I've always had a problem with um, what I believe to be like unrighteous authority. You know what I mean? Like leaders who I felt were stupid as fuck. You know what I mean? That officers or NCOs that I didn't agree with because I thought they were stupid and didn't know their fucking job and I knew better. Or teachers the exact same way. Or fucking police. You know, I mean that's the way I've always been, man. And it's an attitude thing. It really is. It's a chip on your shoulder. It's a fucking arrogance. There's a lot of fucking negative qualities that come up that play in that. But now having the experience that I have and the perspective that I have, I needed to go through all that. I needed to be that guy. I needed to be that kid. I needed to be that way when I
Yeah,
was growing up to get to the point to where I'm at now. You know what I mean? All that had to happen.
yeah.
You know. So it's whenever you look back on your mistakes and your fucked up times, people like to fucking look back on them with regret, and I don't because everything that we've gone through, all the trials are all lessons. And on top of that, when you're somebody like us, like I know through the club and through the military, uh, over my adult life, I have known conservatively over 20 people who have died just in my adult life, people who I've known and been family and or close to, just because of the life that we live, specifically the military slash biker slash just generally reckless person. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
And uh and that makes you really fucking grateful and appreciative, and also it helps to enlighten you when you're constantly surrounded. You remind yourself, like, I got a big thing of Sean. I got a big magnet of Sean on the other side of the safe. And I'm gonna fucking show that really quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking
Where's it at? Yeah, this big ass fucking thing right
My
here from
brother.
Sean. Yeah, and I got a memorial upstairs in the bedroom for all the other fucking guys and everything, and that's what sucks that yeah, I can say all other guys, but that really fucking helps to remind me to, when I'm getting mad, when I'm getting fucking pissed, because you still got those inner demons. They're not dead. They're still there. You're never going to be able to kill that voice, that fucking little devil on your shoulder or the bad wolf in you, wherever the fuck you want to
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at it. Um, you're never going to completely get rid of that. You just got to be really good at telling them to shut the fuck up and sit down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
having
Yeah.
having those visual reminders around my house and being able to see my kids all the time really, 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 and medical marijuana helps out drastically. um, but it really just it those visual reminders, they really help to fucking keep into perspective what's important. And so when that bad wolf, when that motherfucking, the inner demon wants to start fucking talking to you, you feel him crawling up your back. You're able just to fucking look around, recognize what's there, and be like, "Fuck, man, yeah, shut the fuck up." And I used to get mad when I would feel that fucking demon, when I would feel that fucking rise and that blood. You just I used to get mad just for feeling like that. But now I'm never gonna fucking not. I'm never not gonna have that. You just gotta be, like I said, better at telling them to shut the fuck up and sit down. And
Right, yeah.
now
Well,
it's easier to do that. You know.
yeah, man. And I would say too, I don't know, man, like, being when I was in the Marine Corps, and I know most people, and this is speaking from a conversation that I had through one of the guys we know about another Marine that we served with, who, he was a great person, was a great Marine. And I feel like, um, my experience in the Marine Corps, whether you were a motivator, whether you were a scumbag or wherever the fuck you were, it's like you did feel a sense of importance, like whether it's to the country or whether it's to just that you just felt good, like you're for the most part, you know what I mean? Whether people were like, man, I can't wait to get the fuck out. But, you sit back and you realize I was a very important part in a very, very, very important fucking gun club, fucking a place that goes straight fucking do damage and savagery and shit. And it's hard to really see that. But what I want to say is, what about the people, I guess, that feel like they lost a part of that, like, being part of something? Because the conversation that I had with one of the cats I was telling you about, man, is like, he was good in the Marine Corps and everything was, he felt important, I'm pretty sure. And, all of these feelings that he felt. But when he got out of the Marine Corps, he felt, pretty much no longer needed. Like he didn't know what he was going to do next versus like when I said I got out, I went to college and I feel like, through that, I, kind of obviously, I evolved more, had some great conversations, met good people, but everybody's not obviously college material. Everybody's not trying to do a certain job just to do it. And I guess they lose that sense of importance. So then they fall into a slump. The guy I'm talking about, he's in that slump now and shit. And, I think mainly he's having difficulties finding that importance, what he can do, like, all these fucking things that he held on to when he was in the service and stuff. And I'm pretty sure so many people out there too. It's like, what, getting back to, what am I going to do next? And definitely when you feel important and you feel part of something, you feel genuinely better about yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're like, okay, I'm
Because you
doing
are a
something
part of
today.
something.
Yeah, because you're a part of something. But then some people get out and they can't find that niche. They can't find that passion, or that passion
They're
doesn't come
not a
to them.
part
They
of
don't know what to
shit.
do with it. Yeah, and the next thing you know, they roll over in that slump of just fucking more drinking, more, drugs if they do them, and more depression and stuff. Is really no balance, like, which every part of life I feel like needs a balance, good and bad. Like, it needs that balance and shit. But they really have nothing to balance. It's just that depression. And it's like, damn, I ain't even part of anything no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It like I am 100% sure that I have been depressed at least a couple times since I've been out, and like going through those little stages, those little slumps, you know what I mean? And not only is depression prevalent in both sides of my family,
but it's very common to happen to not, to combat personnel, though, excuse me, to service members who've been exposed to combat, but also, fucking transitioning military personnel as well, transitioning out of the Marine, out of the military. So I've definitely experienced it, and uh, it's really strange, man, because when you genuinely and sincerely, you have no reason to be unhappy. Everything around you is fine. Your circumstances in life are good. Everything, you have all the reason in the world to be happy, and you're just fucking miserable.
Right,
You
right,
know what I
right, right,
mean?
right. I've been there, man. For real.
Yeah, it's just
And you can even know it. You like know in your mind, like, shit, man, like what really is so bad? And you can't really explain how the
yeah.
feeling comes on you like that.
But I think that knowledge is worse because like that's what was hard for me is the fact that, I literally wouldn't like why am I so fucking pissed off and just miserable? I have no reason to be, and I'm intentionally trying to tell myself to be in a, to be happier. But there's literally just times when it is a combination of circumstances that just fucking punch your fucking ass in the face every day, all day, It's
Yeah,
just life fucking using your head as a speed bag,
yeah.
and
And when you think you're
yeah.
up here on this mountain, next thing you know, something just fucking boom, slice you down. Like when everything's going fucking as planned, you know what I mean? As planned and everything's going fucking good in life. Next thing you know, it's like boom, hits you in the side, and then you really feel like you really figure out, am I gonna make it through this? And that's when I always look at people that are able to make it through that and still rise up. Those are the
Well,
people,
and
man, that really I'm like, man, I got always I even pray I've been praying, I'd be like, man, like everything's going good right now and shit. This is easy right now to be fucking to inspire others and motivate each other and and smile and all these things. But you remember the times you were depressed, Brandon. You remember all those fucking times you went through. Don't think that it won't come back. You know what I'm saying? And life is gonna hit your ass when you least expect it, whether it's through losing a fucking close one, relationships, or just losing a fucking job out of nowhere, man. Hits
so
you.
what do you do? So what's the answer to that? You know what I mean? Like so what's the answer to fucking and I'll tell you where I've come to, man. And I want that to happen. Like I expect almost like genuinely so. I expect not expect. I picture the worst possible thing that can come out of any situation. You know what I mean? And not only do I just mentally and emotionally prepare, like every time I go into saying, what's the worst thing that can happen right now? You know what I mean? And it's like I want it to happen almost because I'm prepared for it. You know what I mean? Like so in the book that I just that I just finished up, Virtues of War about Alexander the Great, there's several times when he's facing an army just hundreds of thousands in numbers greater than his own. And there's times when he always talks shit about not having to do speeches, but he's done them, to get the fucking motivation up in the guys. And the few times he's done them, he's like, you motherfuckers are scared basically of this shit. I want them motherfuckers. Like, so there was an instance where, he could pursue this king, the king of Persia, when he was hunting him down, or he could fucking wait around and, chill out, gain his supplies while the enemy gained strength. And all of his officers were saying, take him now. He's weak. He's on the run. Go get him. And they're like, yeah, if we leave him, if we leave him be, he's going to gather a big army. He's going to be able to get his strength back. But yada yada yada. And Alexander was like, dudes, I want that motherfucker to be at his best. I want all of his champions. I want all of his fucking rest. I want him to be at his fucking fullest because that's going to make my fucking glory and my fucking victory just that much sweeter when I still fuck that dude up. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and that's the thing, man, is like like great people throughout history crave that adversity. They find themselves, or excuse me, not all of them crave it, but they find themselves in it one way or another. And whatever way they find themselves in whatever situation, it's always like I will not let you beat me. I'm not going to let the situation fucking win. And like
Right.
there's a book called Survivors,
And it's literally a group of fucking they interviewed a whole bunch of people that were survivors of natural disasters and terrorist attacks and plane crashes and fucking all these fucking traumatic things, you know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
interviewed all these survivors, and they wanted to find out what they had in common. And there was two things that were in common in all of them. One was some sort of belief in a benevolent being, some sort of spirituality on some level. They all fucking believed in God in one way or another. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the second thing was that they all said that they decided not to die. And they tied that into the human spirit, the human will. You know what I mean? Just the will to not die. You know,
Right.
and like, can you imagine? Like, just imagine that for a second. Like, think about what that really is, and what it is like a human being can simply make a decision that I'm going to survive. You know, and you just make decisions that actually fucking, you know, lead to you surviving when vast majority of others didn't. You know what I mean? Like, just
Right.
because you made the decision, you decided not to. Some people can do that. You can decide to, you know,
Yeah.
and most other fucking people just can't do that, you know, and that's why, like, you know, when I compare all these things that I keep in my head and that I read about that I love and the lessons I've learned, the perspective that I have, it's right now we possess every single tool and every single fucking trait that we need to accomplish whatever the fuck it is we want to accomplish in life. And literally the only thing fucking stopping us from doing it is up here. Is that is it, man. We
Right.
literally, especially the four of us, man, the four of us together possess in abundance all the things necessary to accomplish whatever. You know,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
you just do it, man. Just fucking do it. And when like so far when I've been doing these things, when I've been challenging myself and seeking out a higher standard of living for myself, let me accomplish this, let me accomplish this. I haven't failed. I haven't reached
Man.
my limit yet. I haven't reached it, and I'm just gonna keep on fucking going until I can't stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And that's one of the big things, man, that's one of the big things that I want all of the you know, myself to know first off. And the reason I'm gonna say that is because it's about self-concept, and that's what the viewers too. You know, it's very important, like you said, DJ, to realize the things that you are able to fucking do. And you literally said you can literally do the things you set yourself out there to fucking do. You can make it happen and stop, I guess, thinking of yourself so small or the world or the things that you could eventually become, you know, is so like so much in the box of just like, this is it kind of thing. You know, it took me a long time to really have that. And I'm still working on it today. To have the capability to actually believe in yourself, because it takes that. Like Lee used to always tell me, like, you're so fucking good at music, you know, everything's dope. And a lot of my friends would tell me that. But, you know, I didn't really fully believe it myself. Like, I don't know, the passion wasn't there or whatever, but it really, through all of these things, like you said, if I look back, I wouldn't change anything, just because it more than anything showed me that, you know, hey, you really have to know and really truly believe the importance that you have and the things that you possess as a unique individual that's different than any fucking body else. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are the things that you personally possess. Getting back to when a person doesn't feel like they have a meaning in life, you got to realize, definitely for vets and definitely for people we serve with and shit like that, you've been through some really, really, really fucking bad times, good times. You've been through all of these things. And just for the viewers out there in general, or the people that's not just vets, you've been through a lot of shit in life that vets have may not even experienced, whether it's through home, whether it's through broken relationships and shit like that. But to look at that and say, hey, you know, I've been through these things, but I'm not going to let it dictate who the fuck I am. And I now truly believe that I have the capabilities to get to where I want to go. You know what I'm saying? And I really feel that. And I know it's going to be some bumps in the road and even boulders in the fucking road that's going to be over there to like distract what the fuck I'm trying to do, or make me feel like what I'm doing is not right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Those thoughts get in your head too. Like, am I really doing the right thing? And then those negative thoughts and the naysayers come, they come by the pile, and they tell you too that, hey, are you sure about this? Are you sure about that? Now you're questioning yourself. But kind of like you said, how you read that book about Alexander the Great and stuff, and how he was almost wanting that. I mean, I'm guessing that's what made him great, right? And another thing, experience that I had about last week when I was going through all these things that I thought were so big in my life, and I came back and reflect, and I was just scrolling through line and stuff, and happened to stop on a guy. You know, he was 24. He reminded me a lot about like myself. I told you that in the Marco Polo, but to share with you guys, you know, he really had a lot of ambition. He really had a lot of determination at the time. He was, you know, inspiring others, and everything really felt good and in place. And that came, you know, what came was that boulder and told him, like, hey, the doctor, now you got cancer at 24 years old. And the first thing that come to his mind is, damn, I can't do none of these things no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't do none of these things. I'm going to let down so many people. My sister look up to me and all these things. And this was a prior Marine. I didn't even know he was a Marine and shit. But the main thing I got out of the story was, you know, he would have family over and everything, and they would be there by his side to support him, but he still felt alone in a room full of so many people. Like, he felt fucking alone and stuff, battling something. And then not only battling the sickness, now he's battling his mind and saying, am I really going to be able to do the things that I felt that I was set out for? And then he's like saying, if he, you know, universe, God, why the fuck you do this? You knew I was on the right path, and you knew I was out here to do positive and great things. And now you had the gut-wrenching fucking shit that's going to change my life completely when you know I was trying to do good. You know what I'm saying? And then that thing hit him, and what it told me and what he learned through it, he had to sit back and realize, you know, like, sometimes these things are going to come, like, you know, and with Alexander and stuff, when that happened and stuff, you know, all these things, you might be in a battle situation or wherever like that. Next thing you know, you get an ambush. Like, I mean, things in life happen like that, you know, more than fucking, you know, obviously in combat and stuff, but, you know, applying it to life, things like that happen. Like, you here today going to Mars, relatives and family are here today going to Mars. The connections never fucking die. Like, these conversations we have never died. Me seeing that was a time and that I had to really sit there and be like, there was a reason I seen that, because yeah, you're saying all these things and this and that, but hey, show and prove. Like, you gotta be a fucking warrior. Make it through this shit. The fucking battle don't stop when you get out of the fucking Marine Corps. Like, life hits you. You can't get a job. Now your family life ain't going well because of that. Or now you're arguing that your mind ain't the same way anymore. Now your spouse or whoever don't fucking agree with the way you're thinking now, when that was you all alone for 8 years. Now you're drinking more. Now you're feeling misunderstood. Nobody understands you. On top of that, you don't have a place. Get a job. Yeah, now you really can't get a job. Seriously, yeah. And all these things are hitting you in life and shit. So just a reminder, and what I had to remind myself is, you know, and what I pray that I hope and I just hope that I'm able to keep doing when some of those real hard things happen. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Smith, when you were saying, sometimes you almost hope for those things to happen, because that really shows like the truth. It really just like, you know, it comes and shapes you, it molds you. But with me, man, it's like I let things get to me so much sometimes, but I always got to remind myself, like, you know, life isn't perfect. Life's going to fucking hit you. Don't expect that it won't. It won't. But, you know, I'm not sitting there like, me personally, I'm not going to like wait for anything. But in the same sense, I know in my mind that life happens, because if I'm sitting there tripping over some small things compared to life itself, and if you think about how big life is and how big problems is that other people have and shit like that, and then you have to sit there and be like, on top of that, I'm going through these problems, but still your mind is sitting there having to say, I'm worthy of it. I'm able to do this. I have self-worth. I'm confident in it and shit like that. These are the times where you're really going to get tested, but the times that I feel like those tests are going to end in some shit that's going to be literally telling you, this is who you are. This is the warrior that you're set out to be. The battlefield is not clean. There's not, you know, it's not going to be no action the whole time. Some action is going to come your way through 2 months of nothing happening. You know what I'm saying? And then that complacency sets in. Part of fucking life. Wake the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And it's real. And then through that too, I'm having to tell myself daily, get up, fucking get up, fucking make things happen. Knock some shit out the box today, man. Like, fucking go out there and do it. You may feel miserable, but now you're attacking shit. You're getting shit done. You're starting to build up that self-worth and that meaning and that purpose that you thought you lost the whole fucking time. And you know, it could be amazing, man. Really.
No, man, you were fucking nailing it. That was one of your times, man. You were just having a flow state just now. That's exactly
yeah, man. Yeah. And I can feel like literally, you know how we always say, like, you feel it in my heart. It's so cliche, but you do. You feel it, and it's more to your mind. It's like it's taking control. Like it's it's automatically saying it because it's meant to happen. This conversation is meant to happen. Whoever's watching right now is literally meant to be here for a fucking reason. Whether you think that I'm a fucking total douchebag and you never liked me the whole fucking time, what I'm saying right now and the reason that you're fucking watching this shit is for a reason. You don't have to be going through those things right now in life, but just be assured that things like these can happen in life. Stuff like that can happen in life. Like life hits your ass, but hopefully you'll have somebody like me and you at least able to talk to. If you can't even have somebody to send financial support if you're going through it and shit like that, or when you go through mental battles, I know you know, DJ, man, like with mental battles in your mind, us as we think some crazy shit on my line. We do like that. I know I speak to myself, think of some crazy shit, and sometimes I have to sit back like, did I really just think some shit like that, man? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like I was
And
telling
it's
you
the artist in
before.
your mind, you know? Yeah. That's the artist in your mind, and that's these things are real. So now you're dishing these things back out, and then you're still trying to dodge those bullets of the fucking, oh man, like all the negative things coming your way and shit like that, man. You're sitting there, you're still trying to like, you know, be that person who you set out to be, and that path is fucking foggy as fuck right now. You know what I mean? Crazy.
Well, people, the reason why fucking being a good person is so hard is because being a bad person is so easy. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if you really want to fucking fill your life with the things that feel good, money and sex and things, and, you act greedy and selfish, and you fucking just, nothing you have is earned, everything is easy. All those things lead to nothing. You know what I mean? Like, they all
Oh
feel
man,
good.
yes.
They all
Totally
feel
agree.
good. They're all feeling amazing. But they don't make anything fucking nothing. There's no happiness that's gained out of that. There's no real happiness. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's one of those things that when you really have to fucking convince, or you try to convince people that, hey man, you know, doing the right thing and seeking adversity and growing as a person and gaining perspective and human and
Yes.
emotional intelligence, that takes a lot of life lessons, man. And you don't get that unless you've lived fucking life. And life
Right.
is a risk, it's a battle, it's constant, everything. It's a journey, it's a fucking
Yes.
adventure. Go on it. You should seek that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what college used to be. College used to be a fucking place that you prepared to become challenged at. You would go be challenged by ideas. Every single idea from everybody represented,
Right.
And then, what's even harder to be a good person for fucking schmucks like us is, like you were saying, man, like, not only do we we have those constant fucking temptations inside us every fucking day, like the that your inner demons try to seduce you, by making you feel and think certain things, and they make your inner demons make you good at certain things, and they try to convince you that it's a good thing, and that's how you become selfish.
Totally my fault, man. My bad, bro.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, no, dog, you were in your flow state, man. You were fucking just.
Yeah, man. And it's everything that I know that we are talking to and us having this conversation, man. I feel that it's definitely completely meant to be, man. And I don't know, man. You said you like look up on like I'm gonna start doing that myself more, man. Looking more into whether it's reading or just insight on different things and stuff, man. And definitely reading. I feel definitely reading. I love to get more involved in that and stuff. And like I was saying earlier, different aspects that you can take from like reading or learning some material and shit like that. I mean, it really keeps you savvy on the stuff that you may experience in life in general and stuff. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
you talked about it earlier, man, and I forgot to bring it up, but you specifically said it. Like, one thing that I have learned, that I've always known, but I haven't applied to my own life, but literally, what really separates, like badass warriors and, like real gangster motherfuckers, and because any man anywhere and any woman anywhere can be violent and can be fucking gangster as shit, and can be just
a fucking ferocious fighter. Anyone, anywhere, any man or woman can physically be just cruel and vicious and whatever, you know what I mean? But
Right.
not everybody can fucking, and I don't want to say be fucking smart, but it's not it because that completely is a gross understatement. But not everybody can do great things, can accomplish great things. You know what I mean? It takes a certain kind of person, and it takes a fucking
Right. Right.
certain
Right.
kind. It takes a certain kind of warrior to be able to fucking lead armies and to be able to fucking win against just odds and adversity. You know what I mean? And all
I
of
like how
that.
you said that, Warriors. I love how you did that right there, man. Because it does
Well,
a
it
whole
is.
lot to do. You're right. You're right. You're right.
That's it. That's where it comes from for me, from warfare. It's not throughout history, man. It's hardly ever been who's just the most ferocious and the most fucking whatever. But it's always been who's the
Yeah.
most fucking who's most smart, who's got the better tactics, the most strategy. And there's so many things that those encompass. But
Yeah.
it's always been, and I've always known that. It's always been, yeah, smart, because you never think of yourself as being dumb. You know what I mean? Like, no one ever fucking
Right.
thinks, holy shit, I'm just fucking stupid and dumb all the time. You know what I mean? Especially most fucking guys and most, like, most, Marines. You like to think you're halfway intelligent. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
and you are. That wouldn't be wrong. But when you really fucking compare yourself because you read books about people who really are fucking intelligent, and you're like, holy fuck, I am a hamster compared to this fucking guy. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right. Right. Right.
like when you really fucking and not only dip your toes into the ideas and theories of intellectual people. You're just like, I am a monkey. Like I
Right. Right.
am
Right.
so
Right.
dumb. But when you really fucking also dip your toe into that same pool and you realize that, you're like, holy fuck, I really want to not be a monkey, you know what I mean? And I've always read novels, I've always read fucking fiction throughout my life, you know what I mean? And a little and nonfiction here and there, history stuff, but ever since I got sober really, I've been reading mostly world history things, great people, war history, fucking, and on other
Why do you
shit.
think you like that so much? Because it applies to real life. Because it's real shit that happened. I'm guessing,
Well,
or like
it's
just stuff
it's
that you're
it's
into. Because
well, that is literally human existence. Human existence revolves around the forming of countries that are changing and evolving through warfare and politics. And warfare and politics are always the things that change countries, that change history, that write history. You know what I mean? And on top of
right.
that, it's completely indicative of human. I mean, not indicative, but it's very it highlights human behavior. You know what I mean? Like when you really, really, really look back and investigate history and warfare and politics, and you learn about the bad guys and the good guys and who was fucking fighting for what and for what reasons and why, and who were they fighting and why, and then you fucking find out who those people were and what they were like and what they believed in and like that. It's human beings, it's human behavior, it's where we come from and why, like, people think that our problems today are unique to us, and they're not. The only thing that is unique is technology, and but the same problems that we have today all around the world has been happening since human existence. It's nature. Human beings. There will always be a good and a bad, a fucking a struggle, a pull. It's nature. You know what I
Right.
mean? And if it's politics or war or race or economics or culture or society, these are all issues that have plagued every civilization of humankind throughout history. You know what I mean? These are all problems,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the only thing that changes is the background. Fucking technology and fashion and people. But human beings don't change. You know what I mean? Human beings are always been the same. We've always been the same.
So, so do you think that technology plays like a bad part? I mean, obviously, it is how you use it, but do you think that I'm saying I've seen firsthand people that I thought like that we had that I don't know, people that I've served with and people that I didn't serve with, post some shit, man, that's just like, first off, it could be hurtful as fuck in the sense of I thought we had a different, like I just thought they were different people. But then they get behind, social media and they might lash out on anything with. And what gets me is this, even if I don't, I'll say this, even if I don't agree on what a person writes down, say on Facebook or anything like that, what I really cannot respect at all is a person that doesn't look into it, research it, or like they form an opinion based off of some shit they seen, or a person that, or a group of people, group of races, or whatever you want to fucking call it, just because
based on a lie.
And they ride the train of, okay, this is the group I should be in. Like, it's almost like with, you hear about prison stories and shit, in order to survive, I need to be in this group. But the thing is we're out here now and we're literally able to make a difference and sit there and do that. But instead, I feel like a lot of people, they jump on, like I said, they jump on groups, or they jump on a train of something that they don't even look into, or even what the worst is, if they don't even really feel that way. They could really feel a whole certain way and portray themselves on fucking social media, or when they're out in public with a group of certain fucking people, and it might not even be who they really are. Goes back to, is that really being real? Hell fucking no. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think social media, we talk about this a couple times, I think it could be used greatly for a great thing, like, but I feel like a lot of the times, when you do those things I was just mentioning, obviously, it sends out this kind of thing, and then that person gets affected by it, and he does this and that. Like I said, if a person says some stuff in there that I totally disagree with, I can respect the fact if they base their opinion off some stuff that they really feel and looked into, instead of just joining some fucking other side, I guess you would say. If they can sit there and form an opinion and based on, like, I'm not telling you to sit there and agree with the way I believe things should be and shit like that, because, I'm my own unique person with my own unique mind, and I expect somebody to totally agree with me all the time anyways. But even if we're talking about some real issues, which we're dealing with right now in fucking social media that we see all the time, and people like to post things, really sit there and ask yourself, though, is that first off really who I am, and do I really feel this way? And then what am I doing to, like, display this? Am I just running off some shit and just joining this side? On the other flip side of it, social media can be used, like I said, for some great things, to go out there and, like what we're doing now. I mean, it's a form of it and stuff. So we have the ability. You mentioned it one time, DJ, and this little fucking phone, like, or a little fucking laptop, or whatever, out there to truly make an impact. If we don't, and our mission is not to change people's mind completely and sit there and be like, this is how you should be. All I'm trying to say is, hey, sit there and look at it. Look at the conversations we have. And beginning of the conversations, DJ mentioned and shit, we looking at us, our appearance and everything. Don't like we might hang out together. Definitely not. But we're still able to sit here and have a conversation. We're still, and if I completely just didn't like who you are, it would be different. The vibe would be there. I would just let, some people are better off, I guess, not connecting all the time. But what I'm trying to say is, like, don't just fucking throw things out there just based on a sense of another person and the way they thought things should be and shit. Really be that true. I feel like it's funny because I keep going back to, like, how you mentioned Alexander the Great. I don't know as much about him as you do, and not nearly as much, but all I know is he said Alexander the Great. And I'm pretty sure his mind and his modes and ways of doing things were a lot fucking different than the next motherfucker who said, no, you probably should have done it this way. Fuck that. I'm going to go with the way I feel, and I'm going to really write down the real, or do the things that I really feel. And then today, when I'm reflecting too, when you go out there and you do things on social media or the conversations you have, really let it be what you feel, and really, I feel like, do the groundwork and really know what the fuck is going on first off, like, what I'm saying? And the thing is you'll never know completely, but just have a good grasp on it, man, and actually sit there and be like, hey, I can look at you right now and have a conversation. We may totally agree, but let's think of some new ideas through that.
Well, you absolutely fucking were 100% correct when you talked about, or when you referenced earlier in the conversation, that, like, people would look at us and not be, say that we shouldn't be friends just by our fucking appearance, and that's because our relationship is not based on the shit we like. You know what I mean? Like our fucking relationship is connected by the people we are, by the men we are, you know what I mean? By the characters we have, by the virtues and the values that we possess and the way we choose to live our life. That's the foundation that our relationship is based on. You know, it's the same thing, me, you, Fred, and Ty, and much with the other guys, you know, like we're not friends because we like the same music or we fucking like the same movies or we fucking have the same following on Facebook or whatever the fuck, you know. I mean, that's not why we're friends. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right, right.
and people have a hard time grasping that because I would say the vast majority of people have fucking relationships that are based on very superficial fucking foundations. You know what I mean? You know, people do
Totally
like
agree.
fucking. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't have these really deep and fucking just really really meaningful relationships with people that you meet based on the things you like. You know, but when you really connect with people who are completely opposite of who you are, but you really connect on that human emotional level, whatever the fuck it is that binds people together, that completely transcends material shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, for sure, man, for sure.
so it's
Like I always say, man, conversations and the connections that you make with people will last a lifetime compared to like materialistic shit. And I always like to use this, man, because I feel like it's so fucking real. Is if you think about it, you get a brand new house, it's nice, brand new fucking car, you get the 2018, whatever. It's nice, it's fresh, you know what I'm saying? And we're sitting there, we're like, dog, it's nice, you know, it's fucking nice. The only thing is the next year, obviously, it won't be brand new again. Several years from that, and eventually it'll be just old as fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? But the conversations that you have literally are everlasting. And we're sitting here, proof of it right fucking now. The conversations that we had back when we were in the Marine Corps, especially at war and everything, and just in the Marine Corps and the whole organization itself, the conversation is reborn, becomes brand new versus the car that just faded and became old as the years went by. When you have that conversation and we reminisce on stories that we had when we were in Afghanistan or stories that we had in the past or even when we were in fucking Colorado, we talk about, yeah, hey, remember that one time? Remember that one time? What does it do? It becomes brand new again. That conversation is reborn versus some materialistic things that we seem to want to hold on to that does nothing but obviously fade away. When a person even dies, the conversation that he shared that he may have had with one cat, now he shared it with this one. It multiplies. It keeps going. It really never dies. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just keeps on becoming brand new again. And that's what I feel like a lot of times people, it's not that they don't, it's their awareness again. It's like when you realize that, damn, you know, what I just said, that's right. It's fucking real. That's fucking right. And we can sit there and if you argue with that, then you're sitting there arguing with a battle that is not fucking, this is right. Like when you sit there and have conversations versus when you value materialistic things and things that somebody's got, I'm not saying like by all means, I'm not saying don't go get fucking nice things. Like live life, have a good time. You're in here to thrive. You're in here to have a fucking good time. You're in here to seek and reap the benefits and do all these things. I'm not saying that
but
you
that's
are
not what's
worthy of
important.
that. You're worthy of that. You're worthy of these things. But in the same sense, always fucking remember that the bonds and relationships, the things that got you here, the things, all these things that never die and becomes reborn again, these are the fucking things that's going to always sit there in the back of your mind and hopefully make you a better person. Like hopefully you'll sit there and you'll think of the negative conversations you had and negative energy that came your way one time or the positive conversations you had and the positive vibes you had with somebody. That thing clicks back in your mind. Now you're reborn again with that conversation and hopefully it's building you and making you evolve as a person and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Versus
That's
like you
right.
said, materialistic shit is just like, boom, really? Was it really that important? Because that was cool what you were doing. Like I said, man, cool ride, man. Cool fucking ride. You know what I'm saying? But after that, it's all it is to it, man. All this other shit is like, boom, man, you remember that one time? Now laughter's coming. Now that excitement's coming. Now you're really shining because these are
Well,
the true values we carry.
if you're standing, if you really want to tell people who you are and you really want to identify yourself by the shit that you have, where are all the people in your life going to go when you don't have that shit anymore? Are they
Right,
still going to fucking
right,
be
right,
there? You know what I mean?
right.
Like, Like if you're really
Exactly.
building your world around shit, and the people in your life are in your life because of that, literally just and that's why I tell people, man, like that's why one of the most important things for me in life is first and foremost self-awareness. You know, who are you? Why are you here?
Right.
What are your principles? What do you believe in? Who the fuck are you? You know, and most people, when you really ask them that, like what do you want to do with your life? What is your dream goal? What are your ambition? What could you People don't know because they just don't fucking ask themselves, you know what I mean? And
Right.
then so when you ask them, well, how do you feel about this situation? They rattle off some dumb fucking opinion that they heard on fucking TV or on fucking Facebook or Twitter or whatever the fuck, that they have no idea. They just heard someone else fucking say it, and the person that they heard say it is cool, so it's got to be fucking what everyone says,
Exactly,
you
man.
know?
Exactly,
So
man. You hit
it's
it like, bro, that's fucking dope. That's true, man. Very fucking true. I was having a conversation with my dad, man. I'm like telling him all these things like fucking couple months ago. And the funny thing is, this is funny, man, because we had another conversation. He's like, man, you should check out this fucking thing Denzel did when he's talking to the college kids. I checked it out. I'm thinking like, this is the exact same thing. And I agree, it was a dope speech. But I'm like, some of the things you said, these are the exact same things that I've been saying. You just once he said it, next thing you know, it becomes official. Like, you know what I'm saying? It gets back to what you're saying, man. Realize who the fuck you are. Like, these people are not important compared to who the fuck you are because they're on TV and because they're supposedly doing great things with their life, man. Like, you are that. You are that more. You know, and that's when he said it. It kind of really kind of like it hit me for a little bit, and out of respect, obviously not gonna lie. But you know, I'm thinking like that's what, and I did say that. I was like, that's what I've been saying the whole time, and like now he comes up and say it, and I understand you're a big fan. I am too. Like I love like these things, man. But in the same sense, realize that about yourself, man. Like you possess. These are human beings too. You possess these fucking things and a lot more. You
hmm
know.
Well, and at the same time, what sucks about that self-awareness is that recognize what the fuck you don't have and what you aren't, because there aren't people who are going to be as good as communicating as you and I are. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So like, people who see something that inspires them, you know what I mean? Like, so for me, like great uh, I don't know. Okay, so singers inspire me. Great fucking singers inspire me. You know what I mean? Like I really love fucking hearing someone who can sing like. And anyway, but I can't sing like a motherfucker. I can't sing for shit.
Right.
I'm
I got you.
horrible.
I got you.
So I need to be self-aware that I'm not going to be a fucking great singer one day, no matter how hard I
I
fucking
got you. I
try.
got you.
You know what I
For
mean?
sure. For sure. For
So it's
sure.
realize what the fuck
Understand.
you aren't too. Have that self-awareness to know what the fuck you aren't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so true,
Know
man. I
what
never
you
looked at it
don't
like that. That's
know.
so fucking true. Yeah. Definitely when you said in the music aspect of it, man, that's so fucking true. You know what I mean? There's no line between that. It's fucking right there.
You
You
know?
do have to realize, I guess, too, like the things that's so true, man. How you put it, for sure.
I mean, I don't know how many motherfucking people in the NBA ever fucking played that were like under, like fucking 5'10", but like all I know is Muggsy Bogues, and he was like fucking 5'8" or five, however the fucking short he was. But there's only one of him, and a bunch of probably a whole fuck ton of other short motherfuckers who want to be NBA players, but they're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just and I don't want to use it in a physical
And
aspect either, but just know what
I
you
know what you
aren't.
mean, but then, yeah, know what you aren't. But then when you realize what you aren't and that it's not going to be you, then you can realize what you can do and what parts you can give on along, So it's all equally important. It's just knowing, like you said, hey, this is definitely not me, and God created us or whatever, it created us to like have the mind and be like, okay, this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
And
this, like,
you know where that realization can only come from too, man, is failure. When you go out
Yeah,
into the world and you attempt things and you try things and you risk and you attempt, you're gonna fail. And when
yeah,
you go, and not only top of that, but when you go and experience life, you experience other people, you experience other places, other things, other ideas,
And if you honestly question yourself when you go through those spirits, if you agree, if you disagree, do I like it, do I dislike it, you find out who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? You start realizing who the fuck you are. But you can't fucking come to those conclusions and you can't answer those questions unless you fucking live life out and go experience things. You know what I mean? But you have to
Very
take
true,
that
man.
risk. You have to take that risk, you know?
Yeah, it's all about taking that risk, and that's why I guess you was so keen. And I know you mentioned you wanted to travel a lot more and shit like that too, man. It's like I was the biggest procrastinator. And Lee's always like on my ass. She's always like, we need to go like different places and stuff. You know, we need to go see different areas in life. I'm looking at a picture now of them. This is her and her sister. And I think this is actually Paris. Yeah, they went out. You know, they ventured out, and it made me talking about that. You know, it made me think. Me just looking at that just now is so funny, but it made me think and realize how true that is, because I was always the one that's like, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll make it happen and stuff. And then she said, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to start booking shit. And pretty much next thing you know, now I'm in, like, you know, I'm not nowhere like that yet, but, you know, I'm all over the place versus I'm saying the Marine Corps where you went as a unit, but now I'm this time with my loved one. And on not only that, seeing nature for something else, you're seeing all these great stuff, but you really have to go out there and do it. And, you know, not just traveling, taking chances and failures guaranteed to, you know, like you said, DJ, it's possible like this definitely going to come. But if you don't venture and take those, you know, those chances that seem so far fetched, and I'm still learning it, man. That's why I'm talking about it now. I'm still learning it, man. And I think it's always going to be sort of one of my battles just because sometimes, man, I feel like I'm on that path and I feel it. But then my mind loves to be like, you know, my mind loves to be like and say like, man, this probably ain't possible for you or something. Like, you know, it throws in my mind. And then a lot of the time I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'll just keep on keeping on. But then in my mind it's like, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. But everybody else around me, like everybody's like, take that chance. Like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, it's so they can see it so much more. And what I'm trying to build is, like I said, the self-concept and, you know, and like how you just mentioned with the self-awareness and everything too, but just being aware and the self-concept, but also knowing that, you know, you really have to put yourself out there. You have to take chances. You can't always be in that comfort zone of being like, everything's all right here right now. You know, everything's comfortable and we're living life. And I'm, you know, this right here is convenient for me. I could be in a room doing this thing. No, go out there and put yourself in front of situations that people may not agree with you at all.
That's
Like, you know what I mean?
that's why I did that trip, dog. That's exact. I went on that trip to have an adventure, to go on a journey, you know. And you can't have a journey. A journey is not a walk down the street. A journey is fucking going out into the unknown, into fucking peril and possible fucking, you know, the unknown. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, man.
that
Yeah.
trip is exactly what happened. You know what I mean? Everything that happened there was supposed to, you know. And the people you run into, the experiences you have, they give you new perspective. They change your life. They happen for a reason, man. And the ripples that happen from one thing, from one fucking thing, all of the people and all the things that affects drastically change the course of your life. You know what I mean? and
Yeah.
and it's an amazing fucking thing. It really is, man.
Was there like a main thing? I mean, there's so much stuff I know you experienced on that trip. Was there like could you even pinpoint a main thing? I guess it was like the most, I guess, crazy slash
He
significant or whatever, you know.
When I got arrested, that was because I mean that was the second day of my solo trip. You know what I mean? After I dropped the family off, and when I was facing potential prolonged prison time. You know what I mean? Say that three times fast. Potential prolonged prison time over the holidays during a time when I was intentionally trying to do something good with my life and being withheld from my family. Like it was the most intense feeling of despair I think I've ever felt. More than more than the worst times I felt in combat or as in any alcoholics or alcohol related situation. Like when the feeling I had when I felt that I was going to be withheld against my will from my children.
I was.
And it probably goes back to what I was saying about that dude with the cat. He's like, I'm doing, like you said, you're doing everything good. You're out there for a good reason and stuff. And then this happened, you know?
Yeah, and that's why like that's and it's great because my lawyer is going to get the dash cam footage, which is I really wanted it because I was saying that the whole time, like even after they cuffed me and everything like that, man, I was crying and I was emotional and I was just I I was like 99.9% of fucking like everything in my body, everything in my being is telling me just to fucking wreck everything. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to fuck these cops up. I wanted to, and it was in my head, man. It was there. I was doing it in my head. And I knew how. And anyway, I'm telling this to the cop, and I'm telling her like this is the exact situations, and I'm super emotional, and like I can't do this. I can't handle if I just calm the fuck down and I handle this the right way. It'll work itself out. I can't fuck this up. I have a daughter. I can't fucking do what all
Yeah,
and that's what
man. Yeah.
that is the exact situation that so many of us vets find ourselves in where we make a fucking choice and make a decision that is life lasting that really fucks our shit up, And if I would have handled that the wrong fucking way, it wouldn't have fucking turned out the way it did. And and I was praying and I was just crying and I wasn't bawling, man. I was so mad and angry and was trying so hard just to fucking not lose my shit and start motherfucking these cops and all this crap. And the only thing I could do was just talk and tell her how I was feeling and what the fuck was happening. You know what I mean? That was the only thing I could do other than just wreck everything. So
Right.
yeah, it was, and then the everything that happened after that, like the entire discharge of when I got out was that was an amazing thing. But that was that was definitely the most crazy thing that happened on that trip. And then on top of that, that wasn't even just the crazy trip, like the craziest thing. Like I spent Christmas Day, I went and passed out Christmas cards into mental health ward at the Minneapolis
Yeah, I
VA
seen that
hospital,
clip.
man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then, just reconnecting with other brothers and fucking talking like, me and Dick, me and fucking Dick and his buddy fucking Josh, we had some really deep ass conversations. And then with fucking Ty, and then with fucking, and I mean it's the whole trip was some crazy, deep, high emotional shit and some fucking crushing low despair shit, you know what I mean? And that's
Right.
what I wanted, man. That's what makes life enjoyable. That's like experiencing the highest of highs and those lowest of lows, because even though those lowest of lows suck, those are still those moments that are seared in your mind, those still those memories that are the most vivid, because they were the most meaningful and impactful, and your mind naturally like absorbs it, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It was crazy.
That's crazy, man. That's yeah, exactly, man. Just me seeing it because me and Comer was supposed to be a part of that too, and me just knowing that you went out there for like you was mentioning during the holidays when a lot of people are obviously want to be the closest to their family and stuff like that, man. And then on top of that, those ton of bricks to be piled on you for you to get arrested and shit like that, and still, you know, uh, by the will of God, you got through that, got out of that and stuff, and you still got the experience of helping with injured. You said injured. Was it injured vets or sick vets and stuff? And
Mm.
I don't know, man. It's wild, man. Like just how life works. But I guess through that too, like how you wouldn't take anything back, man. That's one of those things that you can always look at too, man, and be like, shit, man. It was something that I felt, and I pretty much made it happen. I'm pretty sure you didn't try to. I mean, you probably had negative things, or like maybe you didn't, like you didn't ponder on it too much. You was just like, man, I remember our conversation, like, man, I'm just gonna do it, man. Like, regardless, I'm gonna fucking just do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you went out there and made it happen and stuff. And even unfortunately that happened, you were still able to complete the trip, get things done that you felt that you wanted to do and everything, and it still ended up seeming like it worked out pretty well.
And it was supposed to, you know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
something that I needed, and that's really what I said I was going to do it. I wanted to do it, and I fucking did.
yeah,
And I literally accomplished a fucking pretty bit. I literally drove around the country by myself and got out of multiple felony charges during arrest. I drove completely sleep fucking deprived and distracted, but it was a fucking adventure, man. It was a motherfucking journey, and that's what
Yeah.
I wanted. You know what I mean? And
Right. Right. Right.
I'm really looking forward to this adventure. You know what I mean? Of
Yeah.
entering the world of social media and putting ourselves out there, and
Word.
I'm willing, like, and that's the thing, man. Like when I was talking to you guys and wanting you to watch those videos with Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro and David, because they're talking about literally there's movement that's happening in America right now. There's serious shit and serious shifts happening in culture and politics and in society, and literally what happened in those guys' life is happening in ours. Like whatever happens, circumstances in life brought us together, and
Yeah.
now we're pursuing a common goal, man. And I don't know how anyone else can really know what's happening in politics and culture and society and all that shit, and not recognize what's happening in their own lives, such as like what's happening to us, being brought together because of circumstances of us standing on our principles, standing, pursuing things in life. And it's I don't
Yes.
know how to explain it any other way
No.
than
Yeah.
believing in destiny, man. It's total. It's
Yeah.
supposed to happen. It's fate. It's destiny. And I also believe on top of that, on top of believing in destiny, man, it's a self-fulfilling. You know what I mean? Like
Yes. Yes.
it's you will fucking your destiny will be whatever it is that you make it to be. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
regardless if you make it to be nothing or if you make it to be significant and impactful, if you decide to do it, it will happen. You know what I mean? But
Guaranteed, man. Well, shit. I think that's a pretty good little message to
to
kind of end
cut
it off on, and just to, yeah, but true, man. It's true because like you said, and I reiterated, man, I'm definitely excited to continue to do this journey and stuff into things that we feel and diving out and even taking that chance of everybody who's gonna ridicule you and think this and that is pretty much it's one of these things that I'm really looking forward to because yeah, fuck it, through all this shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like this saying we always used to say, hey, pull your motherfucking balls out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And by really saying that is like fucking, showing proof to the things that you really feel. Be real, literally, you know what I'm saying? And these things that we saying is real feelings.
who
And
we are.
I'm just, like I said, yeah, it's who we are. And like I was saying, the last, the show guys and everything is, to everybody else too, that's watching and stuff. This, like DJ said, is not just happening by okay, it's coincidence. This is actually destiny taking place, and I'm glad that everybody else is able to share this with us because I'm viewing it and that energy that you put off and everything like that when you're watching us and us having these conversations, whether it's being DJ, him and somebody else, all four of us, whatever like that. It's gonna be a great thing, and I feel it inside that everything gonna like disconnect really well, and I'm excited to do it more and more so just to have people out there be like, man, you know what, these guys fucking bullshit, like get a good laugh and shit like that because we are total fucking douchebag idiots and shit, but we still have a fucking good time and stuff like that, man. So a good ass time and say
Because we're
cheesy shit and
fucking
just dumb shit all
stupid.
the time and fucking retarded, man. We're fucking retarded, just like
Fucking
most of you guys
stupid.
probably are too out there. But
That's
at
one
the
of my
same time,
biggest things. How the fuck did we make it? How did we make it, dude? Like,
I
how
don't
the fuck
know.
are we
I
not
still
dead?
don't know, man. Not even along how we made it, how I'm still making it now. I don't even fucking know. I don't even
No
know what I'm
fucking
saying.
idea. I don't
Yeah.
even know. I don't even there, man. Son of a bitch.
But yeah, man, cheers to everybody. Cheers to you, Smith, man. I know you don't have one now, man. And cheers to everybody and shit, man. Yeah, I'm going to bounce out. Exactly. I'm on your level here in a minute, man, too. But yeah, bro, always good talking to you, man. Much love, and hopefully we get a chance to everybody else hop on tomorrow or sometime soon again when it's supposed to work out and shit, man. But
Yeah.
always a pleasure, man.
Love you, brother.
Always, brother.
All right.
Victory.
Victory.